Ladies and gentlemen of the year 33 MFL Fantasy Football League, how is everybody? Getting on this a little bit early. I've got some things I got to get accomplished today. So, let's just get into it. I will start at the bottom. CDs, put it on our defending champion, Gray Squirrels. I think both of those teams are now looking at an uphill battle. But CDs is, hanging in there. I have long said that as long as you're at 3-5, you're probably okay. And both of these teams have a chance to get there, but it's starting to get a little late in the season. I think I said something about the playoffs may have started for CDs last week. I think that's probably still the case, but now I think the playoffs may have started for Gray Squirrels. At some point, you gotta start stringing them together if you're going to get in. That's for sure. Looks like the Quake NATOs put it on the Ass Chewers. Sources tell me that the Quake NATOs were quoted as saying they put it on the Ass Cheeks today. So there's another name change possibility for Connor. But both these teams are in it. Tulsa, I thought, caught some tough breaks this year, and they're 5-2, so it doesn't seem to be affecting them much. And I think Kansas City's still very much alive at 3-4. Interesting standings this week, by the way. We'll talk about that in a moment. The Army got smoked this week by Toledo. Toledo needed that win, so that's probably going to keep them pretty relevant at least for a couple of weeks more, if not longer. Army actually started Puka Nakua in that London game, and I would just use that as a cautionary tale, folks, especially if you know beforehand that somebody's out. Go ahead and just make that change early, because I don't know how many of us are waking up early enough on a Saturday morning to get that done. Here in Colorado, those games start like 7:30 in the morning, and I can tell you now we're not up. We sleep in on Saturday and Sunday, so maybe in Oklahoma you got a shot at 8:30. I don't know, but don't let those London games mess with you. I think Jacksonville's got at least one more, and I don't even know who they're playing, so just be aware of that. But Army learned a little lesson on getting your lineup put together. They are suffering some pretty severe injury. They lost Malik Neighbors for the year, and now Puka's been out, and there might be a bit of a winter season headed for the Army. We shall see. But Toledo, nice showing there. Kevin puts it on John in an old time rivalry, and this one pretty stacked. It looked like on both sides, and again, I think both these teams are going to be pretty relevant before the end of it all. 157 to 132 is a pretty solid matchup, and if I were San Antonio, I wouldn't be too upset with that. That's for sure. West Canaan puts it on Leavenworth. West Canaan now at 5-2. Leavenworth still relevant at 3-4. But like I said, you're going to see kind of an interesting standings reversal here in just a moment. Got to throw out real quick Cleveland. They really smacked down Hoopton, and I know Hoopton's 3-4 also, but my vibe on my team is that I've let too many good players go in the bidding process, and so I don't know if I'm going to recover from that. But I just had a bad feeling when I saw the matchup this time last week that Cleveland was gonna be just fine. They are now 3-4, and I don't know how many people remember this, but our champion last year, of course, which I've mentioned several times, was the Gray Squirrels. The runner-up last year was Cleveland, and I think they've probably got a pretty good shot at making a run this year too. So I love the fact that the league seems very balanced. We don't really seem to have just a terrible team in the league, and it doesn't seem that we're going to have just an incredibly dominant team either. And that's going to make it pretty interesting going all the way to the end. So, nobody's eliminated yet. Nobody's clinched anything yet, that's for sure. Notice at the top of the standings, though, the Tulsa Quake NATOs are at 5-2. We have three teams at 5-2. West Canaan, and Big D, all at 5-2. So I think the way that Sleeper divides those is by point totals, and we've got it written down. I'll go find it just to be sure, but we've got our own tiebreaker system. Generally, we go head to head first, so just for seeding purposes or whatever else. But yeah, these teams have not clinched anything, but 5-2. I mean, again, if you're just trying to get in the playoffs, 7 is the number, and they are well on their way. They would have to fall off pretty drastically. Notice there's only 2 teams here at 4-3, and that's the Army and the Posse. So they're well on their way too. But with the injuries, I would keep an eye on the Army. They've got some holes to fill now that seemed pretty unlikely, frankly, maybe just 3 weeks ago. The other thing I mentioned in some of the bidding videos, I don't know how many people are watching me week to week, but I did mention to the Army and to you guys, if you're going to spend all your money up front, there's nothing wrong with that. And that's kind of what Army did. The problem is that makes you a little top heavy. And then when injuries and bye weeks and that sort of thing come out, it gets a little weird when you can't just go to your bench and find someone to plug in. So Army's got some thinking to do, that's for sure. And believe me, I try to coach as best I can, but I am definitely not in charge of that team. Cassandra's handling it, and I can tell you now, I would not have had Puka in my lineup. That's for sure. Cleveland now sitting very nicely at the 6th place. And by the way, notice our 6th place team now has a record of 3-4. We will always have at least 6 teams in the playoffs. So according to Sleeper, at least right now, Cleveland would be in the playoffs at 3-4. But now remember, we had some of those 8-9 team weeks where everybody was 500 or better, and now that's not the case. So I still think it'll be somewhere in that 6, 7, 8 range with everybody at 500, but not this week. This week it has kind of flipped on its head. Leavenworth, Toledo, and Hoopton and Kansas City are all pretty much tied for that last playoff spot, and we would have to go through some pretty serious tiebreakers, that's for sure. But we'll put a video together when we get closer to the end talking about how the seedings are going to be established and that sort of thing. And just know that if we have to change the bracket, if it's a 16 bracket, the top 2 teams will get a bye. If it's a 17 bracket, the top team will get a bye. And if it's an 18 bracket, nobody gets a bye. We'll just roll with it. So just all depends on who hits those 7 wins. That's for sure. Did not see the report yet. I think I'm actually ahead of the game as far as Sleeper's concerned on the report. But it sure looks like West Canaan, with their 192 points, probably the high scorer of the week, and a team, again, that probably needs to be reckoned with when we get down to playoffs and that sort of thing. When we get to the little soft frozen yogurt poop emoji award, that's going to go to the Army. And again, had we just figured out the Puka thing, maybe we wouldn't have to wear the soft serve frozen yogurt with eyes award for the week. So I'm sure that's going to be a harsh lesson, that's for sure. I did not, I think last week, preview the next week. I think I failed to do that on the video. So let's take a look. Right now, Hoopton is definitely projected to be, again, I feel like the bye weeks are pretty heavy. The byes are pretty active. I don't know if that's the way you can put that. There are a lot of byes coming week 8, and I think Big D has not changed their lineup. I can tell you I have. I even changed my little icon, avatar picture there to my old school Hoopton corn jerker. I found that on a Google search. So yeah, I fully anticipate this is not going to be the way this projection looks. But Hoopton more in need of that win than Kevin is, just based on record. And I've said 3 and 5 a lot as it relates to some of the 2 and 4, 2 and 5 teams. if Hoopton falls, we're sitting right on pace. And again, now another team where those playoff aspirations start to really kind of stare them in the face. Once you hit that fifth loss, you better have 3 wins. But once you hit that 6th loss, you really kind of want to already have 6 wins. So it starts to get a little bit dire, that's for sure. So, and Kevin does, he would probably admit this. I've not asked him about it, but he has this idea that he just, in this league, cannot beat me. So we'll see if that holds true. But he can really put a hurt on Hoopton this week if he puts it to him. CDs is going to have to really turn it on against West Canaan. And just look at that. They're already projected to score 140 points. So that's going to be tough. And CDs, again, hasn't caught many breaks this year, but keeps hanging in there. And that's really all you can do. Looks like Kansas City might get a shot here at redemption against Cleveland. Notice the 2, 3, and 4 teams. The winner's going to be sitting with a little sigh of relief there. And the loser is going to feel the heat of the season. So that's a big deal between Cleveland and Kansas City, almost like a pre-playoff matchup. You got the Army against Leavenworth here, and Army again probably going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat here and work some magic because I think without Neighbors and without Puka, that's going to be an issue coming up. Now I don't know how long Puka's out, but I think there's a bye week problem in there too. So I haven't looked at their roster, but Army, if you're following the video week to week update, it's time to sit down and spend a little bit of time on this because it's probably going to require some thought. That's for sure. Tulsa already is supposed to have 152 points next week against Toledo. And, I think Tulsa is going to be a force to be reckoned with. That is for sure. The Gray Squirrels, again, some bye week stuff going on here, but already looking at a potential 2-6 record and maybe starting to, solidify that off-season preparation a few weeks early. That's for sure. So, again, everybody just kind of keep hanging in there. I love the fact, again, that we've got, a couple of teams at the bottom at 2-5. Normally we would have only one that's sitting there maybe at 0-7 or something. So it does appear everyone is engaged and everyone is probably trying their best. It's just, it's a tricky situation, especially with this league. I mean, it comes down so much to those silent bidding weeks and where did your money go and those little decisions of who did you match and who did you not match. And, I let Jonathan Taylor go back into the live auction and I probably should have just paid him. That's probably going to haunt me. That's for sure. I think that pretty much covers it for this week. Again, I'm going to be in town the week before Thanksgiving. So, I'll probably only about 4 days. I was hoping for a week, but I just don't know if that's going to happen. And I'll be spending a lot of time with family. I got the grandbaby now, so I don't know how it's all going to look, to be honest. But just know I'm always thinking about you guys and hoping you're safe. And we are entering my favorite time of year. Between now and March is pretty much my wheelhouse as far as when I feel good every day waking up. That's for sure. Even though it's cold and sometimes I have to shovel the snow, but I really kind of enjoy this time of year and enjoy this league the most, if I have not said that lately, and just really appreciate you guys. All right. Everybody stay safe out there, and I will check in again with you next week.